Today we're going to be making pork and potato burritos. It's one of my kids' favorite dishes. This is Wendy.
Hi.
She's joining us today. We're going to start by doing the chilies.
So what are these that you have on here?
These are just baking rack to help the chilies not fall through the cracks.
And then how long do you do the chilies for?
Till they're brown.
Okay, so it's not a certain time.
No.
Okay.
So these are charred. We're going to stick them in the bowl, put the lid on, and let them steam. I'm going to do the tomato, which I actually forgot a few minutes ago. And we're going to do the same thing with it.
So why would you fire roast a tomato? Like what?
It gives it a more intense tomato flavor, and it also makes the skin come off easier. Because you don't want the skin that can be kind of chewy.
So what are you going to do with?
This is going to go in here with these guys, and we're going to let that steam too, and then we'll peel them both and stick it all in a blender with some salt and some water.
So the skin's already coming off.
Yeah, the tomato skin isn't on as securely as the chili skin, so this is ready to go in here already. I'm going to wear gloves so that I can do this. You will get a chemical burn from these chilies if you don't wear gloves. So it's very important.
How did you know that?
Because I didn't wear gloves and my hands were on fire for 24 hours.
Oh, I'm glad you learned it for us then.
So here's, you're going to peel off the skin.
Yeah, it just comes right off.
Yep, comes right off. If you rinse the chilies, you're going to lose a lot of the heat. So sometimes I'll do it by the sink and I'll rinse my hands and then and then pull off the char from my hands without actually sticking the chili under the water. So then you're going to pull off the stem. You're going to get rid of most of the seeds and some of the membrane because that's where the heat really is, but like I said, if you rinse it, you're not going to have any heat at all.
Okay.
We're going to just continue this with all of them. I'll do the tomato next. Here's the tomato. You want to take out the core. And then we're going to continue doing the chilies. Here's the skins and the seeds and the stems. It all goes in the trash. Here is the chilies and the tomato. I ended up getting a bowl to rinse everything off of my hands with because I was just transferring the charred part back onto the new chilies. Okay, so we're going to add water to our chilies and our tomato to just about the top of the chilies. I'm going to add salt, about a teaspoon. Okay, we're going to turn this on. We let it run for about 45 seconds.
Wow.
Because I didn't rinse the chilies, it's really spicy, but you just don't put as much in your mixture. All right, so here we have a pork butt or shoulder. We're going to remove the skin. You can use, for this recipe, you can use any kind of pork you want. This is just what we happen to buy, but I've used pork loin chops, I've used a tenderloin. We want it in bite-sized pieces because this is going to go in a burrito. You don't have to get off every little tiny bit of fat because it will cook down and it'll just add a little bit of flavor to the finished product, but it won't be fatty because we're going to really cook this meat. The reason I started doing these videos is my kids have some favorite recipes, like most families do, and they wanted me to make a cookbook. So I've been working on the cookbook for over a year, and now we decided, well, if I'm doing the cookbook, I might as well do the recipes on video, so at some point in their lives they can look back at it and say, yeah, that was my mom. She was a goofball, but she was mine. Okay, so the meat is cut. We're going to get our pan ready. I'm going to remove one of my gloves. I'm going to heat the pan. We're going to salt it very well. That's about a tablespoon of salt. I'm going to put some oil in our pan. Pan should be hot.
Want me to help you?
Sure. You have 2 gloves.
You have 2 gloves.
We're not searing it. We're going to brown it. It's going to take 20 minutes probably. So we're going to let this cook. I'm going to take off my other glove. I'm going to clean the cutting board and I'm going to let this cook. So now we're going to cut the potatoes that are going to go in the chili. So we have 2 peeled potatoes. We're going to dice them. Okay, we're going to add the potatoes to our pork. Cook the potatoes with the pork for just a few more minutes. Give them a little color on them. And yeah, the pork probably seems overdone, but once you add the chili to it and the water, it's going to plump back up, and because it was cooked so long, it's going to soak in all the flavors of the chili. Okay, this is getting a little bit of color on it, so we are going to add the chili and the water. Want to hand me that, Wendy? We're going to do about 5 tablespoons for now. I'm going to add water to almost the top. Okay, and as soon as the water is hot, we're going to let the water get hot, and then we're going to taste the chili to see if it has enough chili, because you can still add more. This chili mixture is going to infuse into the meat and the potatoes. So we need to know now if the flavor is right. The spice is good. I'm going to add a little more salt because of the potatoes. If you like it spicier, we have all this chili. You can add more spice to your burrito. So we're going to cover this for about 15 minutes. And then after 15 minutes, we're going to remove the lid, and whatever liquid's left, we're going to make it reduce so it gets thickened. We're covering it. We're going to let it cook for about 15 minutes, and then we're going to check it again. Okay, so here is the vegan option to our pork and potato burritos. The chili is the same. It's only chilies, tomatoes, water, and salt. No animal products whatsoever. So we're going to do a potato-only version, and it's delicious. I actually prefer this one, but my family loves the other one. You know, potatoes don't need to be perfectly sized because the smaller pieces are going to cook down further and they're going to make your product nice and thick. And the bigger pieces are going to stay large and make it chunky. So our potatoes have been cooking for about 5 minutes. They're starting to get brown. We're going to let them go a little bit longer. We want some color on there. Color is flavor.
Why did you decide to make this a vegan version of the recipe?
I was a vegetarian for 5 years, and I always loved this recipe. I've been making this recipe for 30 years. And I never met a potato I didn't like, so how could you go wrong with leaving out the pork and just doing potatoes? Okay, we're gonna add the chili now. I'm gonna add 3 teaspoons or tablespoons of chili to this one. Add the water. You add it until it's almost covered. You don't want to cover the whole thing because that kind of tends to be soupy. And this one, we're going to leave the lid off for most of the cooking time because we don't want mashed potatoes. We still want some chunkiness. And after it gets to the consistency that we want it to be, we're going to cover it then if the potatoes are not cooked through. And then they'll continue cooking. But we don't want it soupy. Okay, so this is how we store the leftover chili. Pour it into a Ziploc bag. We get out as much air as we possibly can. We're gonna make it flat. Get out a little more air. And I'm going to stick it in the freezer like this, and the next time I want to make the chili, I just break off some of this to use again. That way I don't have to do this portion every time I make the dish. Okay, so the potatoes are cooked through on this one, and now we're going to leave it open and let it reduce because it's too watery. You don't want this on burritos, that wouldn't be any fun. Okay, and this we have the lid on now. The potatoes are not quite cooked through, but they're gonna be cooked through in just a few minutes.
It looks so good.
Okay, so this one's ready. It's nice and thick. It's still got texture to it, and it's also not runny. We're testing for salt. A potato stays hot for a very long time, so I'm gonna give this a minute. It's perfect.
Oh, that is so good. Oh, man.
All right. This one is just about ready. I'm gonna take off the lid and let it reduce another like 3 or 4 minutes. We are gonna make some burritos now. My family likes them with cheese and sour cream. Your family may not like cheese or sour cream.
I don't understand the people that don't like sour cream and cheese, but,
Yeah,
you know.
nobody's perfect.
Yeah. Wow. That was pretty.
That one? Go. I am having the potato only one because I love it. But I am going to add cheese and sour cream because I am not vegan. But you certainly don't have to, or you can get vegan cheese and vegan sour cream. You can also add some of the extra chili that we had, but it's pretty darn spicy as it is, just like this. What I tell my family is it's cooking. It's not rocket science. You make it however you want it. Okay, so here you have it. This is our pork and potato burritos. This is potato only. If you liked the video, click like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. And thank you, Wendy, for helping.
Thank you.
Bye.